There you are. Ooh. Give me a sec. Alright. What's up? I'm Monkey R2. I wanted to make this video to my little brother. Just a quick video. Just because why not? Today's his birthday. And I just wanted to wish him a happy birthday. In my last video, or a video I recorded a little bit ago, I was over here ranting and saying how like, oh, everything's so unfair, and complaining and saying how nobody watches my videos, nobody cares, you know, all this stuff that I was just feeling. I just wanted to get it out of my system. But I do have somebody who cares. I have a couple people, in fact, who care and know about what I'm doing. I have my brother, my girlfriend, and a few friends who know about what I'm doing on the internet. And I'm happy with that. And if more people come along the way, then I'll be happy. But I'm glad that my brother is the one that's watching me too, because he means a lot to me. You're watching this right now. You know you are. And I hope you know that you mean a lot to me. And I'm really grateful for you. Ever since you were born, my life changed. You were born already when I was about almost I was preteen when you were born. And like I said, I was really lonely as a kid. I was the only child. And then our mother found somebody else. And then you came along. And I remember for a long while, I was still little and I was frustrated because I was like, man, my mom is with a new person. Why isn't my mom with my father? And I felt so weird, and this person was the new person was with my mother, was coming into my life and with my mom, and I was pissed off, and I was like, I hate this dude, I don't want him to be here. And then I kind of over time I got used to him, and then I wanted a brother, and I told my mom, hey, I want a brother. And I remember this one specific time, me and my mom, I think, we went to a store, or a mall, and they had these little, you know, those little, they have this area where it's just water, and you could toss in a coin and make a wishing well, I guess. Yeah, they had a wishing well, and I remember my mom gave me a penny, and she was like, make a wish. In my head, I was thinking, I wish for a brother. I want a brother. And then I flipped the coin, and I just saw it, and it went, it just plopped into the water. And my mom asked, what'd you wish for? I wish for a brother. And she was like, oh my God. And then about 2 years later, or a year later, something like that, my mom was pregnant. And I was like, whoa, I'm going to have a brother? Or I'm going to have a sibling? I didn't know it was going to be a boy or a girl, but I kept telling myself, I wanted to be a boy. I wanted to be a boy. Not a girl. Not a girl. I don't want to play Tea Party all day. I want to be rough and play with pillows and stuff. And I remember just waiting and waiting and waiting. I was like, when is this baby going to be born? And then finally, he was born. He was finally born. And I remember when I got to see him, and he was so tiny, and I looked at him. My memory is not that great about that time. I don't really remember because a lot of stuff was happening, so I don't really remember too much. But I remember, I don't know if I was holding him or somebody was holding him, and I was looking at him and touching him. But I remember I was looking at him, and his eyes were closed. And he had his eyes closed. And I remember he opened his eyes and he stared right at me. And he just stared right into my eyes. And he was like looking at me, like confused. And I was looking at him. And I was like, you came out of my mom. And then I came out of my mom too. And I was just like, And I was looking at it. And then it looked up and I saw like a little twinkle in his eye. And I was just like, man, he's so cute. I can't wait to put him on like on the bed and start jumping and making him jump off the bed. I don't know. I was just thinking of all these things. I'm like, well, I can't wait to play toys with him. I can't wait to go outside and wet him with the hose. Like, I was just thinking of all these different things to do with him. And yeah, that changed my life. I remember when he was born, it just changed my life. It made me so happy. And I was going through a hard time. And I remember, I think I remember promising that I wasn't going to give up when he was born or something like that. I promised that I'm going to be strong for him because there was a lot going on, like I said. And I remember I like put my hand or my finger by his hand, and he, you know how babies do this thing where they like grab your finger? He like grabbed my finger, and then I like said in my head, I was like, I promise I'm going to be strong and I'm not going to give up. And then he just like burped. He went, burp. And then I was like, okay, I'll take that as a cool, you know. And then he grew up, and you know, me and him got into a lot of mischief. You know, I would mess with him a lot. We would be jumping on the bed, and then I forget how heavy I am and the age gap. Like, he's small and I'm already like a little bigger than him, and we'd be jumping on the bed, and I jump a little too hard and he goes flying off the bed and he goes, ah! And then he starts screaming and crying. I'm like, I'm sorry. And then I hug him. I'm like, it's okay. Don't tell mommy. And then he's like, but my head. I'm like, don't tell mommy and I'll let you play video games. He's like, okay. And then he like stopped crying. There was also a time when I first introduced him to video games. Me and him played Halo, and we were playing Halo together, and we were just playing, and I was teaching him how to play, and because I wanted somebody to play with. I've been playing, like, I had my Xbox 360, and I was playing video games alone, and I was like, man, I'd be seeing like all my friends play with their siblings and their friends, and I'm the only one who doesn't have somebody to play with. My parents don't play with me. So I was trying to teach them, and we were doing a 1v1, and I was just like showing them, and I was trying to show them how to shoot a sniper. And then I was just like, okay, so I'm going to walk in front of you, and then when you want to shoot me, you click the button. I'll tell you when. And then he was just moving, and then he clicked the button, and he shot me and killed me, and he started laughing. He's like, I killed you. I was like, yeah, you killed me. And then, you know, he was so happy, and he still brings it up. I think like a year or two ago, he brought it up. He's like, remember when I killed you in Halo? And I was like, bro, that was like when you were like 3 or 4. But yeah, I remember. Those were good times. There's also times where me and him played a lot of Little Big Planet. I don't know if any of y'all remember Little Big Planet, but Little Big Planet was my game. I loved that game. It was so much fun. Me and him used to go on the community maps, and we would play for hours. We would play like random games. We'd play like Shark Attack, where you have to run and the sharks try to get you. And there's this thing in Little Big Planet where you could slap, and I would always mess with him. I would always slap him. Like, he's running, he's like, help, he's chasing me. And then I look at him, I'm like, and then I slap him into the mouth of a shark, and he's like, no. Or there's times where we're playing, we played Zombie Attack, or it's like a fake Call of Duty War Zombies map, and he'd be chased by a bunch of zombies. He's like, help me. I'm like, I got you. And I go and I'm like shooting behind him. He's like, thank you. And then there's like zombies on the other side. I'm like, yeah, no problem. And I slap him into the horde of zombies. Like, no! He's like, why you do that? I was like, I don't know. I would mess with him a bunch. There was also, I'm bringing up a bunch of different memories. There was a time where, I don't know if, there's this map where there's like a bunch of bombs. There's like these, you're in this flat surface and you have to try to reach the bottom. And there's these bombs and you have to try to avoid getting near them, and it blows up. And then you like slowly just like follow where the bombs are making holes, and then you keep going down until you reach the finish line. And I remember we would play and he would be getting close to the bottom. I'm like, look, jump up here. Look, I found something. And he'll jump up. He's like, what is that? And then I'd slap him into a bomb. He's like, why do you do that? I was like, I don't know. And then karma would get me. A bomb would land right on top of me, and then I'll die, and I'll start laughing. But it's just fun times. Me and him would create like a bunch of like different little maps, and we'd try to create our own stuff. It was fun, and I'm really glad I had all those memories. I would mess with him a lot too, and we would play around. We'd play pillow fights where when mom wasn't home, we would grab pillows and have like a whole battle with our pillows, and he loved it. And yeah, he's an awesome kid. He's a great kid, and I don't think you understand how much you mean to me. You're my only brother. I don't have any other brothers other than you. And you know, things have been rough sometimes. And you pushed me through a lot of dark times in my life where like I wasn't doing well and things were hard, and I thought of you, and it made me keep going. It pushed me to keep going and be strong for you, because I wanted to be a strong brother, and I wanted you to be proud to have a brother like me, because you know, I felt like a lot of my life I didn't feel like I was good enough or cool, or I was made feel by family that I wasn't a good brother, or I was a crappy brother, or I wasn't enough, or I wasn't doing enough, and it hurts. But I hope you know that I love you, and I'm really glad that you exist. You're a blessing in this world, and you're growing up, and you're amazing. You're so amazing. You're such an amazing kid. Yeah, you have your little, right now you're like a preteen, teen, whatever, and you have your little moments where you're like all grumpy and angry because your hormones and all that, and I mess with you still. Like nothing's changed. Like I still mess with you. Like even that's what you signed up for. You know, when you're my brother, I mess with you. That's just the way I am. But like even when you're moody and pissy, I love you, and you're a great kid. I know that this is just like a part of your life right now. Like this is just a phase, and hopefully later on you're not so like grumpy, you know. But you're a great kid. You have a beautiful heart. You have a good heart. You care about people. You have a lot of love and care, and I hope that whatever you do in your life, you're successful. And I hope you know that I'm always here for you, and that I love you, and I'm always going to love you, and I'm always going to have your back 100%, no matter what, because you're my brother. You're my only brother, and I got your back, because we're the only things we got, you know. I don't have a lot of friends. I have a few, but you know, if you ever need me, if you ever need someone, or don't feel like you're a burden to me. Don't ever feel that way, because there's only one you, and you're irreplaceable. I'd rather me be there for you than you feel alone and feel sad and feel like nobody got your back. But I got you. Anyways, happy birthday, and I love you. Don't forget, you booger. All right? I love you. So stop being such a grumpy pants. Alright, I'm gonna sing you happy birthday before I end the video. Alright, so happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear my brother. Happy birthday to you. Don't forget that I love you. Bye. Peace out.